The Department of Social Development hosted a virtual dialogue with non-profit organizations, NPOs, to encourage compliance and good governance in the sector. The department has witnessed an increase in the number of complaints from the members of the public concerning conflict with the board or office bearers and poor financial management. As a result, the department must ensure that all registered NPOs are compliant with the provisions of the NPO Act 71 of 1997. The virtual dialogue drew experts from various sectors, which included accounting, financial institutions, and legal experts, to share their experience and guidance. Here are the highlights of the dialogue.
A lot to learn, from the King 4 report in terms of governance. But I want to focus on about 4 key aspects in terms of King 4 that's important. The one is that we need to find board members to serve on our organization's boards. That's I think it's a national priority. The more I speak to organizations, the more they say to me, look, we're finding it difficult to get people to serve on our boards, to assist with compliance. And I think that's important as a recommendation perhaps, and one of the opportunities presented in terms of King 4. And also what I understand King 4 is suggesting is having an appropriate risk management system in place. It might be basic. You might have a 1-page risk management policy in place, but that's a good start, and that could be developed over time.
Cyber signed an MOU with DSD, I think it was back in 2016, which allowed for our accountants to volunteer their services to the NPO sector. And I'd like you to perhaps just to go and look at our website, npoassist.co.za, to see how you can become involved in the movement. Governance involves direction, control, accountability, and reporting. So it's very difficult, as you can see, for NPOs to have that. If it's a one-person show, who is going to provide the direction? That person. Control. Who provides the control? For the funder, that is extremely important. For DSD, we want to see the controls put in place in terms of running that business effectively, spending the funds effectively, and being accountable for those funds. And lastly, reporting on how the funds have been utilized. That's very important to the DSD, I believe.
The reason why there are regulations, it's actually to drive this vehicle of accountability, compliance, and good practices to move on, which is not something we are very good at, and yet it is the foundation of who we are in the communities of faith.
I want to lay concern because I was listening to the different representatives talking about the responsibilities of the board. At our organization, the board members are operational runners. Our board members hijacked every account of the organization. They are the paymasters. They pay themselves. So I wonder why this can happen to some of the board members who doesn't even care for the communities and who doesn't know their responsibilities. So for now, we don't know who is going to help us because we're in a crisis now.
Financial resilience also starts with how you plan for the future of your sustainability. And we find donors now are asking for, not even the risk register, but what is your financial sustainability plan? So we talk about that and making sure that you budget holistically, diversified income, etc., to ensure that sustainability in the long run. And just as a very last point, we're talking about governance today, and obviously there's no question that without it there's collapse. But we speak about how to ask for that and budget for that in your organization's budget, because governance is expensive. It costs a lot to report, to control, even to bring your board in and to train them up and to present to them. And it's important to build that holistically into our budgets and report on that as well.
And from this, our belief is that, one, we're going to actually popularize volunteerism as suggested by Ricardo. We're going to encourage the professional bodies to actually partner with NPOs. We're going to fast track the mentorship document and program that DSD has actually started developing. And there are some of the take-homes with regard to how we can strengthen governance and how we can deal with some of the issues in the amendment of the legislation.